In this video, we would like to go to show you how the calculator works, how to actually fill it out, we'll walk all the way through how to submit it. So again, this is focused on the nuts and bolts of the calculator and utilizing it. Last night I went to bed a little after midnight. They hadn't updated the USDA website yet with the worksheets, the application, and the calculator. So when I woke up this morning, first thing I did, I'm guilty. I checked my phone, and yes, it had been updated. And I'll just give you my personal experience. I immediately tried to download, because I went out on the website, click here for the calculator, and when I clicked on it,
on your phone,
on my phone, I got these partial screens, and I went to put numbers in, and I couldn't put the numbers in. And I'd seen on the demo that they said they were going to be able to do, there'd be drop downs and stuff. So then what I did is I grabbed the closest notebook that I had, and I actually have it here on the screen, and you can see I went out again to farmers.gov, scroll down the screen to how to apply. It says click on the calculator. I clicked on the calculator. Guess what? Same thing. And that's what I saw here on the screen when I tried to put something in. I thought, well, the calculator's not working. So then what happened was I said, wait a minute. This computer and my phone have one thing in common, or at least one thing. There's no Excel spreadsheet. And when I was reading the instructions online, it said it's an Excel workbook. So what we want to do is the first takeaway. It appears you have to have Excel on your computer, your iPad, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And in doing so, then what we can do is we go and download. So what I want to do, we've got two computers here. So Debbie, what I'd like to do now is let's walk through how to set up the calculator and how to utilize it. I've got some farm numbers here. Mm-hmm. And so for the rest of the video, I'm going to be the farmer and ask questions. And so walk us through. So looking at your computer screen.
Okay. So you're going to, at the top, you're going to put in your state and your county, your name, the producer's name. It can be your company name or your individual name. Address. City and state and zip. Okay. So then you're going to scroll down to where you start entering your information.
Okay. Are you ready for me?
I'm ready.
Okay. So under dairy, I produce 1 million
each month. Okay. So you put in how much produced 1 million each month. So we put that in, and then it automatically calculates across the screen for us.
So how much did I get?
So this is saying that you would get $148,813.92.
So what I take, because it said there's 80%, but there's two parts. So that means I'm getting 80% from my estimated CARES gross payment, and then 80% on the CCC payment part.
That's correct.
Well, let's go on down the list. Let's go to corn. Under corn, I produced 100,000 bushels, and
so you'll select corn under your commodity. It automatically is going to calculate it in bushels.
Now, do I have to use that drop down, or can I type right into it?
You do need to use the drop down, because if you try to type right into it, you're going to override the system.
Well, see, and I think that's a very good point, because when I did try it, is I at least read the instructions, and the instruction says that I'm only supposed to put, or you're like the farm agent helping me out here, but I'm only to key in the yellow. I'm not to key in any
correct.
white.
Because if you chose, so like we have corn on the screen, but if we decided to choose cotton that's on here, it comes up in pounds.
Okay.
And if you don't have Excel on your computer, then the drop downs aren't there. So that's a good way of knowing whether that your workbook is working or not, is if there's drop downs or not.
It was not drop downs. And then on my screen I'm looking at here, I don't, it's all pushed together. And that screen there, I'm looking at your screen, Debbie. It's very clear and I can follow it.
Right. And it's important to remember, if you don't have Excel, you still can download this form and print it out and hand fill it out to send to your local office. You're just not going to be able to calculate the numbers to know how much money you're going to get on your own.
Yeah, we'll include a link to you wouldn't use this worksheet, you would use another application, and we can include that link.
Yeah. I was real guilty this morning. I started printing out everything, and then I went to a different computer, and guess what? It had Excel and everything worked. So,
okay.
All right.
So how many bushels of corn
I did 100,000. My production was 100,000
in 2019. And then how much have you, as of January 15th, how much did you not sell?
I had stored 20,000 bushels.
Okay. So that looks like your payment would be $5,360.
And again, it's split between the CARES and the CCC payment.
Yes.
So that third column, is that the first two added together?
Yes.
Okay. So in a minute, I'm going to ask her to total it for me, but I'm not quite done. Okay. I have some feeder cattle, because sometimes whenever I'm got corn and the price is not real good, I sometimes will feed it to the yearlings and make more money that way, I hope. So all my feeder cattle would be greater than 600.
Okay. How many did you sell from January 15th to April 15th?
I sold 100.
Okay. So we sold 100.
Yeah. And
then inventory between April 16th and May 14th, how many did you have?
I had 500.
Okay.
Now was that beginning of that period or at the end of the period?
The highest point in that period.
So the highest number during that period.
So you pick whatever day was your highest, and that's what you go with.
Okay. That's what I believe is all my...
So with that on your cattle, you're getting $24,320. So if you want to know your total amount, you're actually scrolling back up to the top, and up at the top, it actually tells you 100% of your estimated gross payment would have been $223,117.40. However, the payments at this time are being limited to 80%. So your total payout is $178,493.92.
Okay. That's my payment.
That is your estimated payment.
Okay. Well, and the reason why that I asked is that my payment, and I think it's very important, is because we're putting these numbers in here. And then I think two things. One, it's an estimated. And if you can you go over to it's the E?
There are multiple tabs at the bottom of this. Yep. So if you go over to the ECPR tab.
And right there.
Down at the bottom.
Yes. And my point here is that you're getting 80% of a market price. That's a differential based on the second and third quarter of 2019. This is all based on 19 production. And so what happens here is that this is an estimator. I think they should call this an estimator, not a calculator. Okay. Because I take away a calculator, means that's my number. See it? It's right there. You told me 178. But the thing about it, this is an estimator, because remember in another video you see below where we went through all the different types of animals and stuff, we said that the word on the street was that they're going to cut these checks out, and then what's going to happen in late summer, early fall, they're going to start doing some spot checking on where's your numbers. If I submit this right now, somewhere I've got to prove I've either sold this. The milk is very precise. I do enough milk farmers that they can get that to the pound or the gallon. But I'm going to have records for this. But the other thing, it's got to be like, for example, livestock. It's got to be the eligible livestock. So, for example, Laura, our discussion in another video on the ineligible, lambs are okay, but sheep's not. So we just can't go doing this. And I think this important thing is this disclaimer. It says the gross payment amount is determined prior to applying any producer or payment reductions. And then they have a whole list of qualifiers there. Plus, from what already this morning, I'm seeing some tidbits floating around that this could be modified even again. and we know it will be because in our own video we just did, it's the fact that we can apply if we have some kind of, farm commodity that we believe should be like the cut flowers or the nursery. That's why they're saving, in theory, this 20% back. And so what happens is by June 22nd, they could, and there's more people applying for, hey, what about me? Mm-hmm. But the thing about it is this disclaimer saying this is an estimator. And I think that's the most important thing. It's an estimator. You can go online, fill this thing just as we did, download it, fill it out. And then what do I do next? Do I print it? What do I do?
So it looks like at this point, after you enter everything on your data entry screen, over here to the side, you do have the ability, you have different buttons, but you can hit print to print this. You can also just go over and click on the 83114 page, and you do print this screen. This is what actually would get turned in. It's already filled with everything that you have. It needs to be signed at the bottom, and then you would turn this into the office that you will be working with.
So to walk through this, I know we're focused on the calculator, but as I go through this, I may not be sure about, what qualifies, et cetera. So I need to look at what's eligible livestock. I need what's eligible commodities. So we did a video on that. We've now showed you how to use a calculator. It's pretty straightforward. So now what we're ready to do is either call, or we may already have set an appointment up with the Farm Service Agency, and then we can have this already filled out for them. But if we don't want to do this, we can still just do what I did with you. Mm-hmm. Is actually on my phone call is have my eligible livestock, my eligible commodities that qualify ready with those.
Right.
numbers.
This is really going to speed the process up for your local office because you know how they're going to want it broken down. You're going to already have that information ready for them.
And I, the one thing, sometimes forms and stuff, are fairly complex. The big question here is the definitions. But once you know the item qualifies, then this calculation is pretty straightforward. And again, hopefully they're saying they'll have payments out in a week. We're about the 1st of June. Let's talk about if we get this before 4th of July, we're probably doing good dealing with government. Mm-hmm. So,
right.
Laura, Debbie, any other questions before we kind of wrap here?
If I'm trying to plan for my farm, should I only expect 80% and just hope that other 20% will end up coming through?
At this point, I would say yes.
Yeah, I think
I just want to make sure people, because you have to budget, you have to plan for your farm for the rest of the year.
Yeah, the whole concept here was the one payment, mm-hmm. but like all good government programs, they're saving part of this back. If it doesn't all get spent, then stay tuned. That's part of why we're here to monitor. Please subscribe because if things change, definitions change, they add more qualified items. We'll add that to our list. If they update the calculator, we run into errors. Like this morning, whenever I first went out there, I was frustrated. So I think it's important. Again, go to farmers.gov, download. Be sure you've signed up. Laura, you did a video on, be sure you had your federal ID number or your Social Security, you have your bank account number, et cetera. So with this today, we should be ready to make that phone call or email to the local farm service agency.
And we'll have links to the payment calculator and the application in the description down below so people can just go straight there and not have to worry about trying to find it because it's towards the bottom of the page on farmers.gov so we can get them the direct links.
Yeah, and then I think one other item to mention, we will be doing a complete walkthrough of farmers.gov website, how to navigate it after this new update. Last night was a major update. Things have changed, and that's part of why we appreciate the people that are subscribing to this because we'll push it out. So, but right now we've done I think 4 videos today. They're short, and I think this is to help you get through this week and through August 28th. hope this helps. Thank you, Debbie, for straightening me out.
Somebody's got to do it.
Laura's supervising me. I mean, but anyway, thank you all again. Hope this helps.